In this video, I am doing a grammatical study of Genesis chapter 1, verse 6, looking at the Hebrew, the vocabulary, with grammatical analysis and an expository type commentary. And so I want to begin, and if anyone would like to follow, I would encourage you to do so with an open Hebrew Bible if possible. So we begin, verse 6. Vayomer Elohim yehi rakia b'toch hamayim v'hi mavdil bein mayim lamayim. And God said, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let there be a division between the waters up to the waters. Looking at vocabulary, we have rakia, a noun meaning expanse. We have a noun in construct, a tok meaning midst or the midst, and then we have a noun that is a participle, and we could translate it as division in mavdil. In terms of grammar, we begin with Vayomer Elohim, and God said. Notice Vayomer, we have the vav followed by the verb, and the verb is amar. It's a pay aleph verb, third person masculine singular from amar in the cow imperfect. The vav turns it over and we translate it, and God said. Past tense, even though it is future, because of the vav consecutive or the vav conversive. Yehi rakia. Yehi is a cow imperfect jussive. It has a command, third masculine singular from haya. It is a lamed hey root. Let there be rakia. Rakia means expanse. Let there be an expanse. The word looks at a hammered out disc that is slid between the waters. So let there be an expanse, betoch hamayim, in the midst of the waters. Be is the preposition in, and tok means middle or midst. Notice that the two nouns are what we call in construct, in the midst of the waters. We have seen mayim before, and here we have the definite article, ha. So in the midst of the waters, two nouns in construct, where we translate the second one like a genitive, of the waters. Furthermore, vihi mavdil, and let there be a division. Notice as we look at that, we have vayehi. Vayehi is again from haya. It's the cow imperfect, third masculine singular from haya. It's a, notice here, it's a final yod, haya, which historically would have been hayai, and the final yod has elided or dropped out. So it is a cow jussive, third masculine singular from haya. Let there be, and notice a mabdil. Mabdil is a noun meaning a division. So let there be a division. It's from badal, and it really looks like a participle, a hip-field participle with the mem prefix in the AI vowel pattern. Let there be a causing of dividing, but we could translate it as a noun. Let there be a division, bein mayim la mayim, between the waters to the waters. Notice here, bein is the preposition between, and mayim literally means the waters, and we have the waters to the waters. Notice la mayim, la is the definite article, and we then it is followed by the noun mayim, which is the dual form of water. So let there be a division between the waters up to the waters. Notice here, uh, as we would translate it, God then said, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let there be a division between the waters up to the waters. It is interesting, God speaks here. He does not have to battle with the waters or struggle at all. He just speaks. As in the Babylonian creation, where Marduk has to struggle with Tiamat to create the world, God just creates the expanse and slides it between the waters. A beautiful text showing the greatness of God over against the Babylonian account, where you had that struggle between Marduk and Tiamat. So now we come to verse 7. Vaya'as Elohim et harakia, vayivdel bein hamayim asher mitachat larakia, uvein hamayim asher me'al larakia, vayehi ein. And God made the expanse, and he caused a division between the waters which were from under up to the expanse, and between the waters which were from above up to the expanse, and it was so. Just looking at the vocabulary a minute here, notice asa means to do, badal is a verb meaning to divide. Asher is the relative pronoun who. Tachat is the preposition meaning under. Al is the preposition meaning above. And came is the adverb meaning so. And it was so. So as we read it and look at the grammar, notice it reads, Vaya'as Elohim et ha-rakia. The word Vaya'as comes from the root asa. It is a lamed hay or final hay form where the hay has dropped out. That yod is a prefix, so it is again a cow imperfect, third masculine singular from the root asa with a vav conversive or a vav consecutive. And so God made, and we continue to, God made the expanse, arakia, and he caused a division between the waters. Vayavdel is from the root badal, to divide. Notice the stem here. We have a prefix yod with a pathak followed by a tsere. And notice that that kind of vowel pattern is looking at a hifil stem. So we are showing here the hifil or causative stem. This is like a hifil imperfect, a third masculine singular. And notice again the AI vowel pattern, the A uh, pathak followed by the seri, shows that we're looking at a hifil stem, meaning he caused a division. And again, the vav here is a vav conversive. So we would render it, and he caused a division, that is God, between the waters, Bein Hamayim, Asher, which were Mitachat Larakia, from under up to the expanse. Notice Asher here means which, and we have to supply the verb were, which were, Mitachat, from under. Notice here, min tachat became mittachat, where the noon, by progressive assimilation, has gone into the tav here of the preposition, or of the tachat, which is the preposition, from under up to the expanse. And the lamed here is the definite article, is the preposition with the definite article, the a vowel, the comments. So from under to the expanse. Uvein hamayim, and between the waters. Notice again, u here is a shurd. Historically, vevain changes by dissimilation to uvain, where we have the shurd for the conjunction here. And between the waters, asher me'ala rakia, which were from above the expanse. Notice here again, asher is your relative pronoun. The mem is from preposition, and the noon drops out, men, because the ayin could not take a doubling, and hence we have compensatory lengthening under the mem from a herik to a tzerik, from above up to the expanse. And then Vayehi Chain, and it was so. Notice here, Yah is the root, it's a cow imperfect, third masculine singular, a lamed hey root, with a vav conversive, and it was so. So the translation is, and God made the expanse, and he caused a division from the waters which were from under the expanse, and between the waters which were from above the expanse, and it was so. And notice the power of God here is seen to bring chaos into order, which really should give us hope that in the chaos of everything that we see, there's hope, because God can bring hope out of chaos. And then in verse 8, it reads, Vayikra Elohim larakia shamayim, Vayehi erev, Vayehi boker, Yom Sheni. And God called to the expanse heavens. Your name is going to be heavens. It's like the king on the throne. God is the king, calling out to the expanse and says that Ikea, your name is Shemayim. And notice there was evening and there was morning, day 2. Vayehi erev vayehi boker yom sheni. Notice sheni is the numeral 2 here. And so looking at the grammar just a moment here, Vayikra Elohim larakia shemayim. And God literally called to the expanse, heavens. Notice here, Vayikra is a cow imperfect, third masculine singular from the root kara, with a vav consecutive. And so God called Larakia, literally to the expanse. Here we have the lamed with the long A, looking at the definite article, literally to the expanse. You wonder why it's a common. Historically, it would have been something like le'al, al being the article, and the hey of that article drops out. So we have compensatory lengthening from a pathak to a comment. So God called to the expanse Shemayim, heavens. And notice here again, we have Vayikra, the cow imperfect, third masculine singular from the root kara, to call. It's another final hey verb. And notice the resh is preferred here because of the aleph, the resh, the final a under the resh is preferred here because the aleph, preferring the a vowel rather than the o vowel, and we have a long A vowel. Instead of like Vayomer, the O vowel, here we have the Vayakra, the long A vowel. So as we go on, we have a verb conversive here, and God called to the expanse, heavens. Notice it's like the king on the throne saying, your name is going to be heavens. So he called to the expanse, heavens. God is the king, calling out commands. And there was evening, Vayihi Erev, Vayihi Boker, Yom Sheni. We repeat what we had said before. Vayihi is a cow imperfect, third masculine singular from Haya, and with a vav consecutive. And there was evening, Vayihi again, Boker, and there was morning, day 2, Yom Sheni. So, just to translate it one more time, and God called to the light day. Your name will be day. Uh, and there was evening, and there was morning, day 2. As we look at the interpretation of the text, in terms of how do we understand it, in terms of the ancient world, especially looking at the Babylonian account, again, Marduk had to struggle and divide Tiamat, and with her to create the heaven and the earth. Here, the Lord just speaks and causes the expanse to be. There's no struggle. He is the king on the throne. What a contrast. In the New Testament, I would like to make an application as a Christian minister. Jesus likewise commands the waters. When he walks on the waters and when there is a storm, he simply tells the stormy waters to be quiet, almost like stop barking and be quiet. He is God in the flesh, commanding the waters, and our mind goes back to this text where God or Elohim commands the waters to divide and they obey him. And so in the New Testament, Jesus commands the waters and they right away obey him, for he is the king. Just as we're seeing here, Elohim is the king. What a contrast between the polytheistic account we have in Enuma Elish.